888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Dot Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Dot Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Dot Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop won't boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Dot Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@thedotexperiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Dot Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Dot Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we roll it over here.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty Dominica got you covered. Whether it's to buy a home or build a home or just an investment property, contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Dot Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Dot Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Dot Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop won't boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Dot Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@thedotexperiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Dot Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Dot Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we roll it over here.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there. Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you. Lawrence Prescott Photography. I'm smiling, I'm laughing because, God, I know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Prescott Photography. That's the only person you need to call when you're ready to take your pictures. You want those pictures to come out right. You want those pictures to last forever. You want your best picture taken? Lawrence Prescott Photography. He does private events, in studio also, and outdoor photography if you need. Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you at anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up.
This Saturday, June 8th, you're invited to celebrate a special milestone with the Hummingbird Jamaican Restaurant. They're turning 1, and they're throwing a party you won't want to miss. From 1 to 7, indulge in their mouth-watering curry chicken, tender curry goat, fall-off-the-bone oxtail, and creamy rice and peas. All your Jamaican favorites that will leave you feeling satisfied, not stuffed. And the best part, they got incredible deals starting at just $6.99. You can enjoy their delicious dishes without breaking the bank. So why wait? Stop by the Hummingbird Jamaican Restaurant this Saturday and treat your taste buds to a Caribbean getaway. They're located at 1046 Holcomb Road in Decatur, and if you're there between 3 and 7 p.m., you might just spot the CLTV crew broadcasting live on location. Don't miss out on this anniversary celebration at the Hummingbird Jamaican Restaurant this Saturday, June 8th from 1 to 7. Your stomach will thank you. Hey, this is Jeffrey Speaks with Just a Thought. Be sure to tune into my show every Saturday from 12 to 1 on Caribbean Life TV and radio.
J. Tailwind Turner, and today will be a burner. That's right, the forecast is hot. So won't y'all do the right thing and check out this new jam by my man Eric Roberson featuring Chubb Rock, Summertime Anthem. And that's the truth, Ruth.
As long as the sun is shining, it's a great summertime, so come on, let's party.
Courtesy of Jermaine Mobley and your boy Arrow. Come on, y'all. Let's get them toes done. Them dresses out. Brothers, clean up your kicks. Yeah.
Weekend is coming up, let's open up the windows and let me lend you this melody to ride. I know you were stuck inside, but now it's party time. Yeah, it's party time. Yeah. Sunlight is creeping and we starting up so early, and we so Jersey. Cars parked out on the lawn. We may not be here for long. Cops come, we say so long. Yeah. Yeah. So high, it's summertime. It feels like it's the day to go down. The sun is out, let's find a good place to cool down. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime? My car is looking clean, I washed it up this morning. Our heads are turning as I am rolling by. The baddest girl on my side, we'll have some fun tonight. Yeah, tonight, yeah. Just heard a barbecue is being thrown this evening. Don't worry, I'm leaving this barbershop right now. Ain't no way, no how. I'm missing out, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, come on. So high, it's summertime. It feels like it's the day to go down. The sun is out. Let's find a good place to cool down. You and me, girl. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime? So high, baby.
That boy Eric Rowe.
Feels like it's the day to go down.
We control this lane, man.
Let's find a good place to
That
cool
girl is
down.
sexy.
It's just
Yeah.
me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the
ready?
summertime?
7-day forecast, hot. Spike Lee, do the right thing plot. I play Mookie, delivering pizzas to that sexy Spanish thing, looking juicy, big dookie. We get silly, heat wave, get dizzy. That soul movement, Brooklyn to Philly. Broad Street, Flatbush, get busy. New summer anthem, Eric and Richie. I see beads of sweat dripping down tummies. Rectums and Daisy Dukes look yummy. I'm in that drop top with sweet cakes pumping in. Old school Buick sitting on Kiefer Sutherland's before the 16. Figure out the riddle. My treat, meet me at Ishka Bibbles. You know the real Ish with Will Smith, he did it the first time. Chubb Rock's third, new summer rhyme. Come!
So high, yeah. Summertime, it feels like it's the day to go down. Sun is out, find a good place to go down. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me?
Hey now, hey everybody. Welcome to our 4th edition, 2nd season of Reading to Feed the Mind. So we have a great show lined up for you today. But before we start, I'm so proud of myself because I finally got my webpage together. So rtfmind.com is where you can go. If you want to email me, if you want to be a part of the show, you can go out to the website and there's a page, a contact page, and you can fill out the form now, and I'll get it, and I'll reach out within 48 hours. And also, if you want to make a donation, if you want to be a sponsor, I have a place to send you now, rtfmind.com. And if you just want to email me, you can email me at swoods@rtfmind.com. I'm awfully proud of myself. That's what I worked on today. And there are going to be more things coming. So right now you got the homepage, what's on the homepage, and then the contact page that I just told you about. But also we have a schedule. So you'll be able to go out and see what shows are coming up next. I am excited. I have been filling up my calendar. And next week I am bringing in, when I did my first episode, I think it was talking about children and reading. And so I have one of my children authors that's going to come on next week, Susan Hines. She's going to talk about her book, Buckley's a Busy Boy, which is really, really cute. So I'm so excited. I have my first guest next Wednesday, June 12th. So tune in so we can talk a little bit more about children and reading and talk about her book. So I'm excited to finally have somebody in here with me. But everything is progressing. Everything is going well. And then the week after that, on the 19th, we're doing a show about mental health and meditation. And so I'm going to have on a good friend of mine, David Aleni, who does meditations. And he does a group meditations with all of us. We haven't done it in a while. What's wrong, David? Anyway, we would do it, like every other Tuesday at lunch. Everybody stop what they're doing and do a brief meditation. It was really good. And so then, so that's the 19th. And on the 26th, I have an author, Ken Bivens, who will be in discussing his book, Pious, which is a really good book, y'all. So I'm excited to have him. And then that following week is when we're going to talk about our first book club. So if you haven't picked up your book yet, it's Sonny Hostin's Summer on the Bluff. That's what we're going to be discussing on July 3rd. So, and you can go to my form now if you want to be possibly be on the show with me, because I'm going to call in a few of my friends, a few ladies to come in with me, or if you'd like to be here. And then I'm going to check with my producers to make sure we be able to do both Zoom and have some people in. They're nodding their heads. It's so nice to have good producers. And so, yeah, so anyway, if you want to be on the Zoom or if you want to be in the studio with me, rtfmind.com, and fill out that form and let me know. Okay. So I am super, super excited. Everything is coming together, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today. Let's see if it was anything else, any other housekeeping kind of things. I think that's all. I had. If not, you know me, I'll pull it in if it comes to my mind a little bit later. So today we have a really good show. Well, I'm going to talk about some of the books that were my favorite. Some that I think in that first show when I was talking about reading, and the reason why I named my podcast Reading to Feed the Mind, because there is so much you can get out of reading different books. And they don't always have to be serious and fiction. I mean, nonfiction. You can get things out of fiction books. So my two authors that I'm going to discuss today did that for me. They opened up that door and got me to thinking. And so, I'm a nerd. I am. I try to be a cool nerd or cooler nerd or whatever. But I am a nerd. So whenever I read something or on social media, I'll hear somebody might post something. I'm always going to go just a little bit deeper because it gets my mind to going. And it helps me to, think outside of the box that I used to. But you know what? I ain't never lived in a box. So I can't even say that because I'm always trying something, wanting to do something, reading something, or wanted to expand my mind. So anyway, today's authors that I am going to discuss both did that for me. I read their books and it was just like, oh my God, just opened up another whole way of thinking for me. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, when I started my podcast years ago, when it was just on YouTube, I had this thing of, did you know? And my first author I did a did you know on And these are people who we knew as one thing. You know, we knew they were entertainers, actors, or whatever, comedians, but then we didn't really know they were authors too. So in my older podcast, I talked about 50 Cent and his books, and that he's co-authored with people, and you know how interesting they were or whatever, and how in line some of them are kind of with his TV shows. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Can't think of the name, but y'all know. Anyway, so today, my Did You Know is an actor. So he's best known for his roles in ER, and where he played a doctor, Peter Benton, in the NBC medical drama ER. So a lot of y'all already know who I'm talking about. And then he went on, and a lot of us know him as his character, Daryl Jinks, right? The Jerry Curl in Coming to America. So yes, I'm talking about Eric LaSalle. So we have known him. He has done, like I said, he's done ER. He was in Coming to America. He is in a slew. If you Google Eric LaSalle and you go to IDMB Pro, you'll see all of the movies he's been in. So, and he directed several episodes of ER, and then episodes of other TV series like Law and Order, Special Victims, Chicago PD, and Lucifer. So he does a lot. But what I want to talk about today is the fact that he is an author. Some of the books, well, he has written it's 4, but it's really 3 full novels. The first, Laws of Innocence, is really a prequel to the novels that he's written. So his theme is pretty much murder mystery. So in these 3 different novels, we're starting with a detective. We're starting with, and you know, I told y'all I'm bad with character names. So the detectives is 2 New York detectives and 1 FBI agent. So, and we'll talk about their names a little later. So the first one, Laws of Innocence, is the prequel. And you can't find it on Amazon. I found it on Kindle. So what happened was I went to a book signing of his, and he was talking about his books and, you know, what they mean to him, and, you know, kind of how I don't remember how he said he came up with the idea for them, but then he talked about the Laws of Innocence, and he was like, well, y'all don't really have to read that. It's short. It's, you know, and you can start with the first book, Laws of Depravity, without having read Laws of Innocence. But me being the overachiever that I am, always doing the most, I found Laws of Innocence and I read it. I found it on Kindle. You know, it was only a couple of dollars or whatever. And I'm glad I did, because again, it's the prequel. So it gives you a foundation of kind of where he's going in the rest of the story. Again, you don't have to read it to have it, but you know, me being who I am, I wanted to read it and I'm glad I did. So in Laws of Innocence, we're introduced to the priest that we're going to see in the following book. The priest was, I should have wrote all of this down. I should have wrote it out. It was, the priest is, and I got notes, Father Connor. So we're introduced to Father Connor and who he is, and we're introduced to him through a young man called Jaquin. And the story is really centered, the Laws of Innocence is actually centered around Jaquin. He's like 10, 11 years old, little boy, free, learning about life. You know how little boys are at that age. He sees a girl, Esperanza, that he's really got a little, you know, crush on or whatever. And so and then we also meet Dregler, who is a tie into the next story as well. So pretty much what happens in this, and I'll tell you because I don't even know if you can still find it, but The Laws of Innocence is the prequel to his next novel, Laws of Depravity. And again, there's Joe Quinn, a little boy, active little boy, and he hangs out at the church. And then there's Father O'Connor. So as you would think, Father O'Connor kind of steals Joe Quinn's innocence. And Dregler is the serial killer who hasn't been caught yet. So he's dipping in and out of the story as well. And so, and sadly, what happens is Father Connor, does what a lot of dirty, nasty men do, and he steals Joe Quinn's innocence. And as a result, Joe Quinn at 11 ends up committing suicide. And Dregler sees this. So again, this is the foundation into Laws of Depravity, okay? And in that one, it's kind of the story picks up a little bit, but this is when you meet Detective Fee. This is when you're going to meet Detective Fee. That's one of the detectives. And Detective Fee, the FBI agent. I'm bad, y'all. I should have just wrote it out, but I just knew I was going to be able to see it. Anyway, 2 New York detectives and an FBI agent. And they're solving this mystery because now so many priests, and it's starting with Father Connor, so many priests are getting brutally killed, right? And so it's a serial killer, and they're trying to figure out who this serial killer is. So now in Laws of Depravity, you're going through this whole series where they're trying to find out who and why are these priests being killed. Now, this is when I talk about lessons and ways of thinking things and, reading and opening your mind. So the cool thing, it's not really cool, but the way these priests are being killed is reflective of the act that they've committed. So the serial killer is like punishing them for their sins. And he makes reference to the way that they're killed to the way that the disciples were killed in the Bible. And this is where I'm like, okay. So all through church, you hear about the disciples and you hear, Peter, John, Paul, all of the disciples. So, Lucifer killed himself after he betrayed Jesus. But what I didn't know until I read this book is that most of the disciples were brutally murdered in horrendous ways. And that gets pulled out in this book because some of them, that's the reflection with the priests. They also, it mimics some of the way they were killed. The disciples were killed in the Bible, but it also is, based on the act that they committed. So, and it's not real gruesome, but it pulls you in and it's just like, oh my goodness. So in Laws of Depravity is when we first meet the 2 detectives and the FBI agent. And so it's a sequel. And then we go from Laws of Depravity to the Laws of Wrath, right? And so now everybody's getting to know each other. And of course, a little romance starts. I think it's between Fee and the detective. And so in the second book, Laws of Wrath, it's a serial killer again. And this one is killing transvestites. So I'll read it. The Laws of Wrath. Chinatown, New York. The butchered body of a transvestite is found in a dumpster. Nothing out of the ordinary for NYPD, except the victim just so happens to be the brother of Detective Fee Freeman. So, and the cool thing about it is we kind of met the brother in Laws of Depravity. You meet the characters and then it picks up with everybody, in the next story. Really good. He threads everything together very well. And so at first the slaying looks like the random act of a vicious killer, but when it's discovered that there are similar ritualistic murders throughout the city, Fee and his partner Quincy, so it's Fee Freeman, Quincy Kavanaugh, and the FBI agent is Janet Macklin. Okay, they all have no choice but to join forces with Dr. Daria Zibik, a brilliant but deranged cult leader. So with the clock running down and the bodies piling up, Fee and his partners must do everything they can to stop the bloodshed and determine if the evil they are hunting and the psychopath they are trusting could actually be one and the same. So what he does, he threads like sub-stories in here. So it's not just cut and dry. Okay, this one, Zibik, because I think they were thinking Zibik did it, but then there was a twist in there. So it's really great the way he threads the stories. So you're getting to know the characters better and better through each story that you read, and then as they unravel these murders, okay? And then his third in the series is Laws of Annihilation. So now with this one, I have not read yet. Nope, I haven't read Laws of Annihilation yet. But it is still another, it's another story with the same characters. You got Fee, you got Quincy, and Janet. So those three characters. So with this one, it says a war is brewing in New York City and no one can stop it. With grit, relentless action, and twists you'll never see coming, Law of Annihilation is the third installment of the highly acclaimed Martyr Maker series. It's another blistering summer in New York, and the sweltering heat wave stifles the area. Hostility between the Hasidic and black communities have been steadily increasing since a tragic incident left a black teenager dead. When two rabbis are killed in a gruesome attack on their synagogue, it has all the signs of retaliation. So the entire city is on edge. Through it all, Agent Janet Macklin's dreams of becoming the FBI's first female director comes crashing down when she receives some devastating news. So in spite of it all, she's determined to help NYPD detectives Quincy and Fee find the rabbi's killer as more hate crimes put the city on the brink of all-out war. As the body count climbs with the temperature and the tensions, time is running out for Macklin in more ways than one. So that's what this one is about. So again, he really does a good job of threading the story, and it's not your typical, okay, this is just another mystery, we know it, you know, because I'm one of those people, as I'm reading, I'll sometimes, I'm telling the story, I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm picking up all the signs, and I'm like, oh yeah, because probably so-and-so did this and so did that. And the cool thing about it is a lot of times I'm not right. So, I mean, you know, if the author is not somebody that knows how to intertwine and take it deeper, you can pretty much guess the outcome, but I'm not able to do that with Eric LaSalle's books. So they are really good, and I'm pretty sure if you're a kind of person that likes the mysteries and likes, you know, that suspense and trying to figure out, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't know they were connected like that, I would say pick up this series and do it in order, right? Do Laws of Depravity first, then the Laws of Wrath, then the Laws of Annihilation. It won't, the crimes are not the same, but just being able to see how the character relationships get deeper. Because, of course, in Laws of Depravity, you got two New York cops, and here come this female FBI agent. So they're dealing with all of that, you know, egos and whatever. But by the end of the book, they all get a little bit closer. And then when the Laws of Wrath roll around, they know each other. They're used to each other, and they're building. And as I said, you know, little romance is kicking off. I'm pretty sure it's between, it might be Quincy but anyway, I'm not going to give it away. It's one of them. And the FBI agent. And then the Laws of Annihilation, which is on my list now to get and go ahead and read. And the interesting thing about it, because I have the Laws of Wrath, but I have the Laws of Depravity. I read that one on Kindle. I told y'all I was going to be telling y'all how I'm reading these books. Keeping it real. I don't buy them all. But, you know, I use different methods of reading. And primarily, as I've said before, it has been Audible. So anyway, that is my first author. I don't know if anybody's watching. We got to tag a friend. Okay. So we going to keep going. Oh, okay, let's see. Hey, Jackie. All right, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We were just talking about Eric LaSalle's series of books, which are really great. But, call me if you want more detail. No, don't call me. Just watch it again. Go back and watch the rerun so you can get your information. But anyway, so again, if you're looking for something to keep you, really tied into it, a story, and keep you really engaged, Eric LaSalle, this would be a great start. All right, so now, and he's a really nice guy because, as I said, I did get a chance to meet him. I went to a book signing, and real laid back. I got my book signed. Ta-da! Got my little signed book, and so I have so many books at home, y'all. And because I keep my books, I especially the ones that I really love by, certain authors and everything. And so one day my daughter, I was telling you all, I think in the earlier episode, how my daughter asked, she was standing in front of my bookcase and she was like, I just came to check out a book. And I was like, what you mean check out? I'm just coming to the library to check out a book. And I had never thought of it like that because I have in my family room, built in the bookcase and all of them are full or whatever. But anyway, it's just something that I love, and I can't imagine not having my books because it's like pictures. You go, if I'm walking by my bookcase and I'll see a title and I'll smile, because I remember that was a great story. Or it brings back memories of the time in my life when the book, when I read the book. So it's really, it just, brings back good memories when you read good stories. And then I have those sections of like, oh man, I got to read that. Ooh, I never did read that one. So it's a little bit of both of them. Anyway, so now we talked about mystery, suspense with, law of all the series, the murder mysteries with Eric LaSalle. Excuse me. Now I want to talk to you about this author. She is awesome. She is more suspense and intrigue. And I don't know if I'd call it, it's not sci-fi, but it's a mixture of suspense and okay, this one describes it as Afrofuturism, or because she writes in the series of books that I'm going to talk about today. She has a slew of books that I have not read all of them, but the one that I did that I have just always loved deals with immortality, right? And so she's writing these stories, and it's a series as well about immortality. And it's not your typical, I'm an immortal. The movies we grew up watching. This one is deep. Okay, so let me jump in. So the first book though that I read by her was called The Between. Yeah. And we read this in our book club. And I remember we all were so frustrated, but we couldn't put it down. We kept saying, that's just not making sense. I'm just not getting it. It's not, but we could not. But we gonna finish it. But we had to finish it just to try to pull everything together. And the cool thing about it was you read it, and after we first finished, I think we were all frustrated. It was like, that just, But then as time went on, we were starting to pull all the pieces together. Now, mind you, this is circa 1995. I have not read this since 1995. But what I do remember about the book, it was about a young man who his grandmother saved him from drowning, right? And then she ended up dying. She sacrificed her life for his. So as he becomes an adult, it's like he started having surreal moments, kind of deja vu moments. And so in the book, you going, okay, now wait, did that really happen? Or did it not? Or was he thinking? Was he dreaming? And I think that's where our frustration laid, or it was in not understanding, well, what was real or what was not. And then even the end of the book, we were all sitting going, because I can't give it away, because I want you to read it. It is something that will keep you engaged, and it'll keep you engaged. And like I said, it just keeps you going, what? What? Really? Is it? Is it? So anyway, so that was the thing about the Between. I would not tell you not to get it because it really does. And then there were a couple of people in the book club that they felt like they got it and they followed it, but the majority of us were like, but until like a week or two later, we were like, oh, okay. So that was really good. So after going through the frustration with this one, we were like, okay, well, let's try My Soul to Keep. And when I say, oh my God, y'all. So this is a story. This is the first of the immortal sequence with Dawi. So Dawi is immortal, right? And he has this thirst for wisdom. And so the thing about it is he is, by being immortal, he has lived, like by the time we're reading about him, and she wrote this, I think, in 1997. So by the time we're reading about him in 97, he's lived thousands of years. He's had multiple families that he has all outlived, and he has gotten himself to a point where, because he knows he's going to outlive everyone in his family, where he's kind of, what's the word for it? He's developed, I cannot think of my words today, but he's developed this whole, shield on emotions. He's good to the families. He loves the families, but he no longer mourns really badly, because he knows who he is and that he is going to outlive him until he meets and marries into this last family. And so that's what this story is about. It's about him in this new family and his love for them, and then now knowing that, oh my God, they're going to leave me. They're not going to be with me forever. So after living this life for thousands of years, he is now at a point where he wants to see if he can help them become immortal. And so that's what the quest ends up being in this book. And the end blows you away. Of course, I'm not going to give it away, but it's like, oh my God. Now, the example that I was saying earlier about how these authors get you to think in a whole nother dimension. And I toyed with myself because in the beginning, you find the history of Dawi and who he is, where he originates from an African country. And it's how he's on a quest with some other men they're on a quest to find more about Jesus, and I think they were on a quest, again, it's been since 97, you all, but they're on this quest of finding, it was something around Jesus in the tomb and finding, all of that. And when they stumble across the tomb, they use the blood of Jesus to become immortal. And I was like, oh my God. So anyway, I shouldn't have gave it away, but it's just how she was able to weave that into a story. That's what I think impresses me the most about authors and even musicians is, how did you come up with those lyrics? How did you come up with that idea to do, to come up with that storyline? And I've been talking, so I haven't had too many. Okay, I don't want to destroy your name, but hey, Miss Prescott, night. Thank you for joining us. Good evening. But anyway, that's the thing. And I was excited for a period of time because they were going to turn it into a movie, and guess who was going to act in the movie? It was going to be Blair Underwood. Blair Underwood was going to play Dawee. We were so excited because when you see that character of Dawee and you see the description of him, it's all Blair Underwood. And it was like, oh my God. So I don't know what happened because I even remember they had a little trailer. I got to take that little word out of my vocabulary. But they had a trailer on, so it was in motion. I don't know what happened, but oh my goodness, they could still do it because it is a lot of young actors now that would be wonderful as Dawee. And I see them in my head, but I told y'all, me and character names don't stick. But I can see in my head one particular one, you know, the one who played in y'all know, it'll come to me. He would be great as Dawee. But anyway, so that's My Soul to Keep. And that's basically the synopsis of what happens in that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was significant. The only other significant thing that really stood out for me in this is the way the book ended. So I can't tell you about that. But then the way it ends, it picks up in her next one, The Living Blood, which, shame on me, I have not finished. I started, but at that point, like around, okay, so My Soul to Keep came out in 97. And The Living Blood, I think, was 2000 or 2001. And around this time, you all, I was deep into family. 2001. I was deep into family. I was deep into chasing this little girl around. I was deep into cheerleading practice, homework. And in 2001, also, that's when I lost my mother, when my nephew was born. 2001 was a miraculous year for me. It's amazing that I made it through, but I did. But anyway, so that's why. And I remember picking it up, trying to get into it, and I couldn't. No reflection on the book. It was just at the time what was going on in my life. And that was starting the decline of my ability to read a lot and really just sit down. And just sit down with a book and read. Like I said, 2001 was a deep year, and it took me a good little while to kind of get back on track after that year. And I probably just got on track this year. But anyway, so I am going to pick it. It is on my list to pick back up. So what happens is his family, his wife, so this is picking up from, the end of the book, and this is more of the wife and his children and how their lives are now impacted by some of the decisions that he made and where they're living, and I just don't want to give it away, but I'm telling you, it is a good book for you all to read. Now, if I had some people in here with me that wanted to really talk about it, I would go a little bit deeper and y'all would just be out of luck. But I don't want to take anything away from it. I want to give you, and I know some people might be saying, if you're listening to me as you're riding in your car, you might be, girl, go on and tell it. I'm all right. I know, because it's a lot more. But my spirit won't let me do it, because you got to get the full. You got to get the full. And I think you'll appreciate me once you get to the end. You'll understand. And then she finishes out the series with the last one in her series of this is My Soul to Take, okay? And so in My Soul to Take, that was 2011. That's the fourth book of the series, because My Soul to Keep, The Living Blood. There is one more. Oh, Lord. It's My Soul to Keep, The Living Blood, and then there is, I'm mad at myself. My Soul to Take is the fourth one. It's My Soul to Keep, The Living Blood. It's one more. It's one more blood, and then this one is My Soul to Take. And in this one, it continued. The narrative continues to follow the struggles of the conflicts of the immortals. Fana Waldy, she's an adult now. That was the daughter that you're going to see at the end of My Soul to Keep. She has some of his abilities, the immortal abilities. I will tell you that. And that's what they discover in The Living Blood. The mom is understanding that the daughter has picked up some of her father's traits, and they're living in Africa, and they're realizing that her blood can be healing for the diseases that are coming up, and they're toying with, not wanting to use her in that way, and not wanting people to find out how powerful her blood really is and what she can do with it. And so that's primarily what The Living Blood is centered around. And so now My Soul to Take goes into her now as an adult and her abilities to heal and her connections with the spiritual world. And all of this just puts her in a battle with the immortal community. And you know what, y'all? I'm getting excited. Because now I'm ready to go ahead and start reading it. So I might go ahead and pick up and go home tonight and go on and jump into The Living Blood so I can go on and get through the series. But anyway, so that's what it is about. And I just think people say that Tananarive Due is the current Octavia Butler in this time, which I've said before, I have not gotten into her, and I said I was going to get into reading some of her books. I have two of her books from years ago when they first came out, but I wasn't in that place at that time. But I've expanded my mentality. I've expanded myself since then. So I'm going to dive into all of that. You got to be careful what you wish for, but I am going to just make time now. And don't let me mess around and find out some of these are on Audible. It's a done deal. I will just buy the books and just listen on Audible. Ooh, I wonder, is The Living Blood on Audible now? Don't tell me this book is on Audible, because if it is, I will be getting it and reading it. And it's going to be wonderful. I hope she has someone that can really narrate well, because it's going to take a lot for this book. You can't just have, yes, it is. Oh, sucky now. All right, y'all. The Living Blood is on Audible. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. Anyway, so I'm excited. I'm going to be listening. So anyway, so those are my two authors that I wanted to talk about. So again, I'm not getting too much feedback, but that's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it, and I know that I'm reaching a lot of people, because I know a lot of you in Radio Land are listening, and I really, really appreciate you tuning in and sharing this time with me to talk about books, because it really does make my soul feel good to talk about and share with you all the different books that I have read. So with that, again, I was just going to tell you a little bit more about my upcoming show next week. We have Susan Himes, who is going to share, and we're going to talk about her children's book, Buckley is a Busy Boy. It was a book that she came up with based on her dog. She has a dog, Buckley. And like I've said before, he's, gets into everything, because dogs are really like toddlers, y'all. They just, an extension, they just never grow up to the children, but you have a forever toddler with a dog. And so she wrote this cute little story. And so I'm excited to have her come in next week and talk about her book, get some ideas on what gave her the idea to write it and some of the things, because she's really active in the book community. She goes to different book clubs and not book clubs, but book shows. But we're going to have one at the end of June the Snellville Community Meet is putting on a book event, a literacy event for children, and we're going to have a jumping house, and we'll have food. And so I will share more information about that event that's coming up, and talk about so that you can bring your kids. They're going to meet authors, and we're going to have reading. We'll have story readers there to read to the children and everything. So that's exciting for next week. And again, my website is now up. I got a short name, RTF, Reading to Feed, then Mind. .com. And so again, you'll see the schedule of shows that's coming up. If you want to suggest a book, there's a form. Go to contact us, put your name out there and everything. I don't think all of the fields are mandatory, so if you're not comfortable leaving your email address, you don't have to. And just, in the comment box, just tell me, name some books or authors that you would like, and put, if you want me to contact you, please leave your number or email address so that I can reach out to you. I'm asking you to give me 48 hours to reach back out to you, and we can schedule some time to come on the show. I would love it because everyone has experiences, and I have another author that I've spoken to. She's not going to come on to August though. And that's going to center around her book and her marriage. It's a really neat book that she wrote. So we're going to have that in August. So my calendar is filling up. I am just too excited. And while, like I said, I want to talk about books, but anything around reading, if you have a book club and you want me to highlight your book club or books that you're reading, fill out that form. You can we can do that there as well. So we are approaching the time. It was a great show. I just feel good. I can't tell y'all how good I feel right now. I just feel good. And because I'm doing what I love. So, and I take ideas. So, and like I said, that form can be filled out if you are author and you would like to come on the show and talk about your book. If you are... if you want to sponsor, if you have a product that you want, that you think would fit in with the show and you would like to sponsor it by, having a little 2-3 minutes to talk about your product, or I do voiceovers, so we can do a commercial for it, and I can then run the commercial during the show. Just let me know. One-stop shop, y'all. One-stop shop. We can put the commercial together. My nephew in Columbus, hey, Ontario, does that type of thing, or we got people here in the studio that can put it together for you. So, just reach out to me. Send me an email. Tell me what you think of the show. Or if you want to just put a message, if you listening to the show after it airs, just drop a comment. Drop it in the comment box as well. But I am excited about next week's show. I am excited about the show on the 26th. Ken Bivens, because see, this is the thing, you all. There are so many authors out there, and books don't expire. So just because like with my book, Love, Patience, and Time on Amazon, I wrote it in 2013. I published it. No, I wrote it before then, but I published it in 2013. Books don't expire. Sometimes what we'll do as authors, we'll go in and kind of maybe bring it up to the time a little bit. So like I have a second edition of my book because I did that in my stories. I tried to bring them up to the time just a little bit because I had some references to some things that were more relevant in 2013 than 11 years later. So I was able to do that, just tweaked it just a little, updated, for current readers in this time. But if you don't, it gives a historical perspective as well, because, people be reading, well, what do they mean blockbuster? Because time has passed blockbusters. Most young people don't even know what that is. And so anyway, thank you again for joining me today. I had a blast. I hope you did too. And if you're looking at this after it airs, I still appreciate you for doing that as well. And I hope, I hope I helped someone make it through traffic a little bit better on your way home listening to me. And, as a reminder, be on the lookout by the end of June. There's a book called Trusting October that I'm going to have Juan Mendez-Scott on. He wrote that book. I'm narrating it on Audible. I submitted my first 15 minutes, and he was like, oh, my God, keep going, keep going. So this book as well, the one thing I love about the way Juan writes, I always tell him, I was like, Juan, you are the mystery, the suspense writer that we grew up on. And of course, I can't think of his name right now. He writes a lot in that style of that author. So he throws twists in there that leaves you going, what? And that's what you're going to get out of Trusting October. And I pray that I do a really good job as the narrator to pull you in, because I know how the book is ending. So I'm trying to make sure that there's certain parts in the book that I kind of lean into a little bit, because you're going to really, see it in the end of the book. But anyway, thanks again for joining me, you all. I am going to sign out now. And as I always say, keep reading to feed your mind, because you will be amazed at how much you can pick up on. Talk to you next week. See you later. Bye.
This Saturday, June 8th, you're invited to celebrate a special milestone with the Hummingbird Jamaican Restaurant. They're turning 1, and they're throwing a party you won't want to miss. From 1 to 7, indulge in their mouthwatering curry chicken, tender curry goat, fall off the bone oxtail, and creamy rice and peas. All your Jamaican favorites that will leave you feeling satisfied, not stuffed. And the best part, they got incredible deals starting at just $6.99. You can enjoy their delicious dishes without breaking the bank. So why wait? Stop by the Hummingbird Jamaican Restaurant this Saturday and treat your taste buds to a Caribbean getaway. They're located at 1046 Holcomb Road in Decatur, and if you're there between 3 and 7 p.m., you might just spot the CLTV crew broadcasting live on location. Don't miss out on this anniversary celebration at the Hummingbird Jamaican Restaurant this Saturday, June 8th from 1 to 7. Your stomach will thank you.
As the sun is shining, it's so great, summertime, so come on, let's party. Courtesy of Jermaine Mobley and your boy Arrow. Come on, y'all. Let's get them toes done. Them dresses out. Brothers, clean up your kicks. Yeah. Weekend is coming up. Let's open up the windows and let me lend you this melody to ride. I know you were stuck inside, but now it's party time.